Welcome to Meet the Candidate. Today we're joined by school board candidate Samantha Davis. Samantha, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Samantha, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I actually live in the north part of our district, up in southeast Mesa. My husband and I grew up here in Arizona. I went to Highland High School in Gilbert. My husband and I moved back to the Valley about 7 years ago, and I have two kids. They go to school in Queen Creek schools. After I got my bachelor's degree, my husband and I decided that it would be best if I stay home and raise my kids and be a stay-at-home mom, which I love, and I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And then my son started elementary school, and at that time I decided to go and start substitute teaching. I substitute taught pretty often in the Queen Creek district just to be around my son and at the school and try to get involved. I joined the PTO at that time. And then a year later, I became the PTO president. So I did that for a couple years. And during this same time, I found out about the Queen Creek Schools Education Foundation. I joined that foundation, which is, if you don't know what it is, it's a foundation that raises money all year for student scholarships and teacher grants for teachers in the Queen Creek district and students graduating from Queen Creek district. It's a phenomenal program. If you don't know what it is, I urge you to check it out. And then I was on every committee in which you can join in the district, pretty much: financial advisory, planning, boundaries. I mean, I was at the district office so often that I felt the next step would be to run for school board, and so that's why I'm here today. And I love students. I love teachers. My dad is a retired Arizona educator, and really instilled in me at a young age the importance of getting educated, being educated, supporting those who are educating our kids, doing what I can to give back. So yeah, I mean, I'm honored to serve the students in the Queen Creek district. And
how long have you been on the school board?
4 years.
4 years. So you're up for your first re-election.
Up for my first re-election, yeah.
And what an interesting time you've had being on the school board, I'm sure. So you've covered, your first term covered the pandemic, growth, phenomenal growth.
Insane.
Tell us a little bit about how the district is managing that growth. And right now the district is out for a bond. And what is that about?
Yeah, so our district has done a phenomenal job at trying to manage the growth, working daily, to acquire funds from the state, getting grants, things like that. Chrisman High School that just opened up this year was built half with Schools Facility Oversight Board, which is state funding, and then Eastmark High School 7 through 12 also was built half with Schools Facility Oversight Board money. However, the state, Arizona being funded 48th in the nation in education, it's extremely difficult to acquire funds and then in a timely manner, right? So it doesn't happen quickly. We get funded from the state after you're at capacity, and we know in Queen Creek we're in this hyper growth, so we're blowing out our projections of student enrollment every single year. And so to keep up with that growth, and you're waiting till after you're at capacity to acquire half of what you need from the state, is extremely difficult. But we've done a great job at doing that. It's just, we tend to have to lean on the taxpayers as well to, for bonds and things like that to help build the schools. It's just really difficult to build the schools faster. Schools aren't built overnight, so it's hard to try to stay up with that growth, especially if you don't pass a bond, or, if the state's not supporting education the way maybe they should.
So you mentioned a couple of things in there. So in order to get the state funding, it's almost after the effect, right? So
after you're at capacity, yeah. And then you have to build. So you're even looking at being further past capacity once the school is able to open or the extensions are built.
So you have to be able to show that your existing schools are completely full, and then wait for the process, and then wait for the construction process. So
Correct.
If you were to wait just on school board funding, it would be
very
several
tight.
years.
Yeah. So class sizes go up, kids suffer with athletic facilities, with the art space, different things like that. it's tight. It's hard. Our district offers a phenomenal, high-quality education for our students and do amazing with what, the circumstance. And it's awesome. The hyper growth is great. I love seeing the kids come. I love how much the district has grown since I've joined the school board, but it presents some challenges.
You mentioned the hyper growth. So Queen Creek is the third fastest growing community in the nation. And how does that affect the district? And I know we're served by multiple districts and some 3 major charter brands, but how does that affect Queen Creek Unified?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, blowing out those projections every year, homes are closing daily. The growth, it presents challenges with having over-capacity schools. We have an elementary up in the north part of the district that has 1,300 students. And they do a phenomenal job, again, working around those challenges. Eastmark has teachers that travel, on a cart from class to class, sharing classroom space and things like that. So they're making do. It's just difficult to try to keep up with that growth.
1,300 kids at an elementary, where should they be?
Well, so
number-wise.
So, I mean, again, a lot of our elementary schools are, at 1,000, 900, 800. That's a lot. That's a big elementary school. 800 is a big elementary school.
Is
yeah.
big.
So when you have a 1,300, that's a small high school in some areas, So it's a lot.
So you have the bond out, and if the bond passes, all of that money is spent at once and we get our tax bill, or how does that work?
Yeah, no. So there's a capacity, right? There's a cap there that you can't just spend all of the, bond money right at once and everyone's tax bills go up. Our district is committed to maintaining, that tax rate. As homeowners move in to our hyper-growth area, your tax rate may even drop over time because everyone takes on a slice of that pie when they come in. So, what was the second part to that question?
So our tax bill will go up right away?
Yeah, no. So once the bond is sold and then, schools are slowly built or additions are added and things like that, it should maintain. However, you're looking at for an average home in Queen Creek, $4 to $5 a month. That's a Starbucks coffee, and I think someone invested in my education. I think it's vital that we invest in the future of these kids. These kids are going to be our doctors, our attorneys, our council members, our business owners. We have to give back to them to provide them the highest quality learning spaces, education, and, I can give $5 a month to invest, whether my kids are in the district or not in the district. Statistically, when schools thrive, communities thrive. My home value will go up because the school district in which I live in is doing well, and I think it's a win for everyone. And if you don't, if you love kids and you believe in education, I believe the bond is, is a no-brainer. So.
You mentioned the strong schools and home values. One of the things that we look at is the quality of the school districts are in the top 5 for large employers that are looking to relocate. So it also serves as an economic driver.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that the Queen Creek Unified District is the largest employer for Queen Creek. We have so many teachers, and teachers come, they live in Queen Creek, they are moving to Queen Creek, they want to work in Queen Creek. So, and I want to be able to offer them those positions.
So we talked a little bit about the past 4 years and being on the school board. So you had to manage the pandemic,
right.
Managing hypergrowth. Some of the other things that have been happening on the national level center around curriculum that parents don't like, or school boards telling parents that they're not part of the process. How does your board view that, and what do you see that as being the future when you're on the board?
Yeah, for me, I can speak for myself. I believe that parents should be involved in their child's education. That's why I'm here today. I have 2 kids in the district, in school, and I'm super involved in their education. But as far as, these hot button topics of curriculum and different things that are coming around, I believe that our school needs to teach our kids the basics, right? Our teachers are required to teach the kids reading, writing, math, those things. Those are the core values, core principles, and that's my focus, is providing those curriculums, that education for our kids.
So at Queen Creek Unified, I have kids in the district as well. So do I have to worry about things like critical race theory or inappropriate books, things like that? And if I came to a school board meeting, would I be welcomed there?
Oh, absolutely. I love the public comment. I love that my email is public for people. I want to hear from the parents. I want to know every concern. I can't sub in our district anymore. I can't teach. I can't work for the district because I'm on the school board. So I can't be at every site. I can't know everything that's going on. I can't hear all the concerns, but I like it when parents come to me. I want to know. I want to be able to help. I don't believe critical race theory is a place for Queen Creek schools. I don't believe that comprehensive sex education should be taught in our schools. I believe we should teach the basics and leave it at that. So,
we talked a little bit about the bond and why we need it, but specifically, what are some of the things that are going to be done with this particular issue of the bond?
What's the bond going to do for our schools? So,
Right.
so that's the awesome thing about this bond is it's going to benefit every single kid in this district. All 14,000 plus students in our district will see something from this bond. And, it doesn't happen overnight. They're not all built the minute the bond passes. It's a process, but everyone will benefit. There will be, new gym space. There'll be new schools. There'll be new arts facilities, new performing arts center, that kind of thing. A little bit of a redesign for Queen Creek to help with the traffic. And I know everyone loves that Ocotillo in the morning. And there's things to be fixed, and everyone will benefit. So.
And I think security
upgrades,
well.
Absolutely, yeah. Safety and security is top priority for our district, so that's definitely
as we look
on there.
at what's happening across the nation. So our older schools will be
Up to date,
retrofitted?
yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. And some of those have, the older schools are already, in the process or being done as of now, but the bond will only help expedite that and help us to be able to maintain that being a top priority. So.
Wonderful. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you wanted to cover?
I mean, I would feel honored to be reelected, and I'm a mom, and I will be honestly myself. I'm, here for the kids. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here for any agenda other than students. I put students first, and that's my top priority. Always will be, always has been. I know a lot of people prior to the pandemic weren't aware of what a school board member does and what the importance of knowing who you elect at that time and looking into it and not just picking someone on a ballot, because they make a difference for our kids' lives and they make decisions that affect our kids. I'm grateful to have been on the board during the pandemic and to be able to have made certain decisions for my kids. But yeah, so I think it's just important to get educated and understand who you're voting for and what they stand for.
Where can people find more information about you and your campaign?
So I have a Facebook page, Samantha Davis for QCUSD Governing Board. It's a public page. People can go on, find my email is on the district website. I'm happy to answer any questions there, and anyone wants to reach out, happy to talk. So.
Great. Samantha, thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.